Upset, upset, upset. Efe Ajagba versus Martin Bakole. First of all, I want to apologize about tonight. All of my work gear has been misplaced. I have just found it. My laptop crashed. It's been a horrible day. Enough of that. Listen. When I told you guys about Martin Bakole's response to Efe Ajagba can't punch, I told you, I said, ooh, be careful on that. Because you're thinking that this guy can't punch based on what? Exactly. And Efe Ajagba showed him, yeah, I can punch, but you don't need a knockout to win fights. You don't need that. You just need technique. You need a game plan. You just don't go in there and think, hey, I'm going to close the gap and land shots and that'll be it. No. Martin Bakole's new name is Martin Andy Ruiz Bakole. That's right. This is a clear case of bad diet, arrogance, and underestimation. See, Martin Bakole thinks all I have to do is get in the ring and then I'll win. No. This guy, Efe Ajagba, did an amazing job on Martin Bakole. He jabbed, right hand, jabbed, right hand, kept the distance. Except for that one round, I think that was round 2. All the other rounds, well, maybe round 10. All the other rounds, he boxed, he moved, he scored, and he won, people. Okay? You don't need a knockout. There were no knockdowns. Sure, bloody eye, bloody nose, bloody mouth from Efe Ajagba by the hands of Martin Bakole, but Martin Bakole didn't do enough. This guy is a total disappointment. Why? Because he thought like Andy Ruiz. What do I mean by that? You thought all I got to do is land the left, right uppercut, left uppercut. No. You have to have a game plan. And it's a terrible route to take for Martin Bakole. And this springs back to the point that he shouldn't have took the Joseph Parker fight. You did it for the money. So did Jared Anderson. You know, ironically, you took a fight that more than likely you would lose because Joseph Parker is conditioned. Had a game plan. Right? Didn't underestimate Martin Bakole. And Efe Ajagba proved to me that he's improving. And I told guys, I said, don't sleep on Efe Ajagba. I said, nah, especially saying he can't punch. He didn't punch, and he didn't have to punch hard enough to knock him down or out. He punched hard enough to give Martin Bakole respect, and plus, his ass was out of shape anyway. He came in at 284 against Jared Anderson, 315 pounds against Joseph Parker. Now he's 299. So you're still up. Listen, the heavyweight division doesn't mean you can come in at any weight you want to. You have to find that sweet spot for yourself, and Martin Bakole has not found it. Okay? He's coming in 300 pounds. This guy is eating far too bad. He needs a strength and conditioning coach. He needs a nutritionist. He needs those things. That's if he gets another opportunity, because at this point now, people are now looking at Martin Bakole as beatable, non-threat, right? I think Martin Bakole, man, he needs to get rid of Billy Nelson. Yeah, he does. Because Billy Nelson, I told you he's a scumbag. I told you guys he's a scumbag. He just wanted, see, he gets paid either way. He gets paid either way. He gets paid. So he doesn't care. If he cared, he would have never thrown him in there with Joseph Parker. So, people, Martin Bakole didn't have the stamina, and actually when he could move. He was like Andy and Joshua too. Come on, fight me, give me opportunity. Why would he do that? Efe Ajagba's back. He looked kind of like Ali in there. Facts. Rope-a-dope. Rope-a-dope, people. Efe Ajagba beat this man 8 rounds out of 2. And I'm actually being modest because I don't even know if Mark Bakole actually won the 10th round. But it's like, why would you tell someone to come to you when you just don't go to that fighter? You know why he didn't? Because the punching power was hurting him for 1, and his ass didn't have the stamina for 2. He didn't have the stamina. What he did was he thought that Efe Ajagba was going to be stupid enough to come on in there and, yeah, let me go toe to toe. A tall, rangy guy like that, why would he do that? That's not even his body style. You know what I mean? What would that benefit someone long and rangy? He kept the distance, and Bakole gave him that due to the fact that Bakole couldn't push away that damn plate. Step away from the plate, please. You have no stamina. You see, he was, oh. You know, those were winging shots due to fatigue because he didn't have the energy. He wanted Efe Ajagba to make it easy for him. No, you got to close the gap. I've been telling everybody, listen to me. I've been telling everyone that would listen. Boxing is not fighting. Sometimes in boxing, a fight breaks out. Yeah? Not this time. Sure, you had little scuffles here and there. And that's when Bakole, tried to do something. But guess what? When that didn't work, what else did he have? He didn't have anything else. He had no game plan. Billy Nelson sucks as a trainer, and he's even a shittier co-manager. I said it. He needs to change everything. Him being dumbfound loyal to Billy Nelson makes no sense. This guy was in Congo eating whatever the hell he was eating. What the hell were you eating? Humans? I mean, this dude grew, got that money, got a little bit of fame. He didn't even do really what Andy Ruiz did. Andy Ruiz was able to upset the heavyweight champion of the world just by fortune of the draw. What did Mark Bakole do, really? You beat Jared Anderson, and now Jared Anderson is looking at himself like, I should have done that. I could have done that. You think Jared Anderson didn't have the ability? He had the wrong game plan against Efe Ajagba. But now everybody knows how to beat him. And I'm looking at Efe and what Efe did to Mark Bakole round after round after round. I thought up to myself, man, if AJ can do that. Right? Parker did that and knocked him out. You know what I mean? A lot of people could be successful against Mark Bakole. That's why Andy Ruiz, he was no threat, because we seen him come in at 284 pounds and he couldn't press the gas. There was no gasoline. He had none. Mark Bakole didn't either. That arrogance, this is what it'll get you, people. All that shit about sparring you talked about, it didn't matter, because guess what? You can spar 1,000 rounds and win 995 of them. But guess what? You have to show up and show out on the day of an actual fight, not just sparring and practicing. It's pitiful. I've lost a lot of respect for Mark Bakole because he showed me that he had no real drive, despite all the trash talk and the call outs and the claims that he did this to this guy and did that to that guy. Look, Daniel Dubois could do the same shit now. I wouldn't give Mark Bakole any chance against any fighter in shape. Joseph Parker, in shape. Michael Hunter. Thank you, Michael Hunter. First one to do it, the king. In shape. Right? Efe Ajagba. In shape. Efe Ajagba, I'm glad they underestimated you, brother. Big up Niger, right? In the building. Did it. Done it. Now he's on to the next one. My only gripe is now, that's why I told you guys, hey, they shouldn't have stripped Efe Ajagba from the opportunity of being number 1, because it wasn't Effe's fault that Mark Bakole took that damn fight for Turkey Al-Sheikh. That shit wasn't fair. See, he should now be number 1. If I'm Efe, I'm kind of mad, because I'm like, bro, I did everything that other fighters couldn't do or other fighters didn't do because, they didn't have the opportunity to, right? It's not my fault that he made a decision. Why should that hurt? Why should that stop me from getting the opportunity? Everybody thought that Efe Ajagba was going to lose. Oh, there's no power, man. There's no power. A knockout. You got to have a game plan. Sometimes, most of the time, to get a knockout. And let's talk about the punching power of Martin Bakole. Obviously, yeah, it was there. I mean, he has stunning power, but it's not the type of power that you think he has. And that's based on your inability to perform based on your stamina. If you have no energy, if you have no stamina, it doesn't matter about your power. So yeah, Efe Ajagba was able to weather the storm in that fight because he had a game plan, he had conditioning, and he had power, Martin. He has the power, man. You guys tell me what you think of Efe Ajagba upsetting Martin Bakole. 10 rounds. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!